William Hill Vegas sponsors Frampton versus Quigg on Sky Sports Box Office.
Welcome to all the fans watching live on Sky Sports at this moment. This is the final press conference for an event Saturday night that is beyond belief. Two world-class promoters, two world-class teams supporting their fighters, and two world champions, both with undefeated records, go head-to-head Saturday Night Live on Sky Sports Box Office. And it's all brought to you by Mr. Barry McGuigan for Cyclone Promotions, and Mr. Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Promotions, along with William Hill Vegas and JD Sports. Well, there's such a thing as the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and I guess most sports fans understand what that means. And there are fights and events that sometimes are represented as the potential to be good, the potential to be great, and then there are fights that have the potential to be legendary. And here to tell you all about it is the head of boxing for Sky Sports, Mr. Adam Smith.
Thanks very much, Michael. Well, we know it's a big fight when Michael Buffer is in town. And very warm welcome to this final press conference. The media tour seems a distant memory now. We're nearly there. A mouth-watering 50-50 clash that has been years in the making. On Saturday night at the sold-out Manchester Arena, IBF Super Bantamweight champion Carl Frampton in this electric unification with the WBA king Scott Quigg. 52 wins, 37 knockouts between them. Live on Sky Sports Box Office Saturday night. We're live on Sky Sports News now. Let's get down to Andy Burton to ask a few questions.
Adam, thank you. Yes, guys, we are live on Sky Sports News HQ, so let's keep our language in check today. Carl, we'll start with you as the man who goes first on the Frampton Quigg billing. It is Frampton Quigg, so we'll start with you. What do you feel, Carl, is going to separate you two as fighters in the ring on Saturday night, and from your point of view, see you come out victorious?
I just believe I'm a better fighter, and it's plain and simple. In every single department, I just think I'm a little bit better than Scott. No disrespect to him, I believe he's a good fighter. It's something that I've believed for years now, ever since I started calling him out 4.5, maybe 5 years ago, that I'm the better fighter, and I still believe that today.
Same question to you, Scott Quigg. What do you feel will separate you, and why will you be victorious on Saturday night?
Exactly the same answer. That's why you've got to fight like this. So I believe I'm better in every department. Nobody does what I do. You know, the way I've lived from, since I dropped out of school and dedicated my life to the sport. This is it, and from that point, and that's why I believe I'm better in every department, and that'll show tonight.
Carl, you've talked a little bit about making weight. I think in the build-up to this fight, you've acknowledged that maybe things could have been done better in the build-up to the last fight that you had. Can you talk a little bit about what you've changed, if anything, in the build-up to this one? And is making weight at this level any kind of problem for you?
Well, because of the magnitude of the fight, everything needed to be perfect. I took a serious approach, more serious than any other fight I've taken in the past. I had a check weight in with the Board of Control yesterday, and my weight was fine. Just done everything right this time, simply because I knew I had to, because it's a big fight. I don't want to lose, and that's the bottom line.
Scott, how has it been for you in terms of getting to the weight? Do you expect to be bigger than Carl on the night when you actually get into the ring, and will that be an advantage if so?
I do the weight. Always dedicated, disciplined, and so this fight will no different. I believe I'll be the bigger man in the ring, but it's not me being bigger that's going to make me win this fight. It's my ability and my boxing game that's going to win this fight.
Carl, in the last hour or two, we've heard little sort of rumblings from backstage about potentially discussions over who gets what dressing room, and potentially that being an issue. Can you just tell us what that's all about, please?
It's a bit of a laughing matter on my part anyway. There's a bit of a dispute about the dressing room. Scott wants the dressing room that the star of the show usually goes in, and contractually I'm the A side here. It's Frampton Quigg. I come to the ring second. I'm entitled to that dressing room. he wants it. So we kind of come up with the idea of why not just lock the dressing room and we'll go into different dressing rooms. But I think he's very, very superstitious. He wants to be in that dressing room. It kind of shows a sign of weakness. Superstition is a weakness in my part. I don't care what dressing room I'm in. But just look.
Okay, then that's solved. So you're just.
It's a matter of principle, Scott.
It's a matter of principle. Just lock the door.
I'm the home fighter, and I'm in the home dressing room.
You're not the
It's
star
not. It's not a home dressing room.
I'm the home dressing room.
There's nothing contractual about changing rooms in the contract.
No, there's not.
He's the home fighter.
So
It's not the home
United are
dressing
playing.
room.
Manchester United are playing
He's not the
tonight.
home corner, he's the home
Showing a lot of weaknesses, lads, already. I'm telling you.
But thank you for accepting we can have it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, let's not-
We haven't accepted anything. You just said you don't know nobody.
Look, this is hilarious. I haven't accepted anything. Let's lock the door and we'll go elsewhere.
Gentlemen, let's not descend this into too much of a slanging match. Let's hear each other speak. Scott, do you care which dressing room you're in, and is this
Yes.
weakness from you?
This is my arena. I'm in the home fighter, and I'm in the home dressing room. That's it.
It's not the home dressing room. It's the star of the show's dressing room. The A say, that's it. It's my
This is
dressing room.
embarrassing.
But I'm willing to lock it.
The
It's
star that
embarrassing.
couldn't even sell his tickets. That's how much of a star.
Yeah, I'm taking
That's a
part.
load of nonsense, Eddie, and you know it is.
I sold my tickets.
Okay.
Do you know what got me to do something? I actually bought tickets off Scott. I bought 10 £200 tickets off you from my mates.
I couldn't sell your own.
I did sell my own.
I couldn't be in any battle arena.
There's undercard
Oh,
fighters.
there you go.
Okay, boys.
Scott, both sides had.
Spice boy, calm down and no one's talking to you.
Listen, we need to bring the trainers in here. We need to bring the trainers in because the fans who are watching on Sky Sports want to hear from them. Joe, if we can start with you. You said in an interview this week that Shane McGuigan is only famous because of his dad. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Well, it says what you just answered your own question.
Can you explain that for people who haven't seen
Well,
the comments?
listen, Shane McGuigan is well noted. There's a piece in the Mail today, who's a nutritionist. Asked could he start going in the corner with Carl Frampton and Jerry Story. Next thing you see, Jerry Story's out and Shane's in. And like you say, Shane's in the corner of Carl Frampton Saturday night. And they made loads of things. And I heard Carl say about being most popular. If Scott Quigg was to walk all over the country with Ricky Hatton beside him, he'd be very popular as well.
Shane, is there any response to you from the comments from Joe that you're only famous because of your dad?
I am.
I think that's
No, I respect Joe as a trainer. He clearly doesn't respect me, but hopefully after the fight he'll have some respect for me.
You said, Shane, in the build-up that your dad has been a little bit disrespected and his achievements, Barry's achievements in the ring, have been disrespected by Joe. Can you explain that one, please?
No, he said that the last time Dad was in Manchester that he was beaten and Carl's going to, come out the same. That's his opinion. That's fine.
Joe, in terms of the fight, what weaknesses do you see in Carl Frampton that Scott Quigg can exploit in the arena on Saturday?
I feel they've underestimated Scott's boxing ability, his boxing brain, and they try and make him a laughing stock, being usually disrespectful. I noticed the last time they were in Manchester, they were very pleasant to everyone in Manchester. Got to Belfast, they got brave and started disrespecting Scott by putting pieces of paper over and that. I think the people in Manchester weren't happy about that and they don't know what's going to hit them in that arena come Saturday night.
Shane, same question to you about Scott Quigg. Do you see weaknesses in his game that Carl can exploit on Saturday?
I think you've got two world-class fighters that are legitimate, world champions, and they're going in, and they, when you get to that top level, there's 2 or 3% in it, and I think Carl's got that extra 2%.
Let's bring in Eddie home. Eddie, can you talk about the magnitude of this as an occasion? It's very rare in British boxing that we have fights where you have 2 world champions going head-to-head in unification fights. I think it's only happened twice in the last 23 years. I don't think it's ever happened with undefeated fighters. For everybody watching today who wonders why all of their friends and everyone up and down the country is talking about this fight, just put it into context for us.
I think this is special. This is a special event. People ask me if this was bigger than Frotch against Groves too. And I said yes it was, because on a global scale I believe it is. I think it's with more broadcasters. Of course we have to thank our partners in America, Showtime Sports, who are transmitting the fight live. And I think this is a special event. As I look down the table and see Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton, and the two pieces of fine jewellery that sit in front of them, it makes me proud, and I think everybody on this table proud, of the job we've done, despite the banter and despite the rivalry, that we managed to make this fight happen. I said before that I really feel it's fights like this that can ignite the sport, that can keep the sport alive. And if we don't make fights like this, you'll see the sport die. And on Saturday night, I think one thing that's been underplayed particularly is the atmosphere that will be generated in this arena. You know, we've seen some great atmospheres. Carl Froch against Lucien Butte was for me one of the special nights. Ricky Hatton against Costa Tszyu in the same arena. I think this eclipses all of it. Huge passion and everything on the line, and that is what elite level sport is all about. Both fighters desperate to win, both good blokes, both tremendous fighters. Unification for the IBF and the WBA title, it doesn't get any bigger.
Barry McGuigan, Carl's manager, whilst there may be differences on both sides, do you in some ways echo what Eddie just said about the magnitude of this as an occasion?
Well, she's absolutely spot on. It's a huge fight. There's never been a fight of this magnitude with super bantamweights in Europe. I think it's very difficult, and it's always difficult to compare to the great Mexican fighters, the American fighters. But it's definitely got it's got this sort of Morales Barrera rub to it. They have to prove yet both of them that they can fight as good as those great fighters. But it has those sort of echoes. So it's a magnificent occasion. There's a 50-50 split on who thinks they're going to win the fight. But it's a fabulous occasion. It's been building and building.
William Hill Vegas sponsors Frampton versus Quigg on Sky Sports Box Office.